Hello, I'm Miss Chris, and I am here with yet another lesson for you that revolves around the idea of life. Literacy is for everyone. In this segment, we will be discussing diagramming sentences, segment 2. Let's start with a quick recap of segment 1. In segment 1, we talked about sentence patterns. We talked about the first and basic sentence pattern as a noun, action, verb. When we diagram a noun, action, verb sentence, it is a simple horizontal line intersected by a straight perpendicular line which separates the main noun and the main verb, also known as the subject and the predicate. The second pattern is noun linking verb. As simple as that. It's still noun verb, okay? The third pattern is noun, action, verb, noun. That second noun is going to be an object, and it's going to be the object of the action verb because only an action verb can take an object. We will talk about the different kinds of objects in a later segment. Diagramming a sentence for pattern number 3 would look like this. You would have your basic horizontal line, your intersected perpendicular line separating the main noun and the main verb, followed by a shorter perpendicular line that does not intersect the horizontal line, indicating that what is to follow is a noun, and usually that will be indicated with a small n, but for the sake of this segment, this lesson, at this point of time, we're going to stick with the uniformity, okay? So, in pattern 3, we've got noun, action, verb, noun, that being an object. The lines matter. You're going to see that in less than a minute, okay? Remember, it's a diagram. Diagrams are sort of mathematical and scientific, and every little mark matters when we're talking math and or science. So watch this. In our next 2, but I only called it 1 because, you know, I do things a little unconventionally, but I do things in a way that will make more sense to my audience. Okay, so sentence pattern 4, we could call it A and B if you want, goes like this. Noun, linking verb, noun. Noun, linking verb, adjective. Uh-oh. But as I said earlier, we're going to call it a noun anyway. But why is it this different from this? I'm going to show you. When we have a linking verb, it changes the lines in the diagram. And again, the lines do matter, okay? It does matter. So now we've got noun, linking verb. We separated with our intersected line. But for the linking verb, we're going to use a slanted line. And it's going to slant toward the left because that will remind us that following a linking verb is going to be a noun or an adjective which refers back in some way to the noun. Whereas with an action verb, we have an object that relates to the verb. Okay? With a linking verb, the word or words that come afterwards are going to be nouns or adjectives that refer back to the main noun. Slanted line pointing toward the main noun. Slanted line after linking verb. Okay? This is segment 2. And segment 2, as you can see, is a very brief segment. So I'm going to go right on, instead of making it a different lesson, I'm going to go right on to segments 3 and 4, which I have also combined. And while I'm turning the board, and while you bear with me, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I have been a classroom teacher for 35 plus years. I have been teaching primarily middle school and high school, English, language arts, and reading skills. I think that YouTube lessons have always been important. I know as a teacher sometimes I went to YouTube for something that I might have needed a refresher on, or sometimes I realized that maybe the students were just a little bit tired of hearing me all the time, and or sometimes somebody else could explain it just a little bit differently and make all of the difference. So YouTube lessons really were worthwhile. At this time period, which is the time period during the pandemic, coronavirus situation, I think that the YouTube lessons are probably even more important, or at best important in different ways. Many students are now mandated to participate in homeschooling, online learning, virtual learning, distant learning. We know as teachers that many students need to have that lack of distance. Many students need to have that little bit of extra that the teacher can provide in the classroom much of the time. That is the differentiation, that little extra, that one more time. On the other hand, parents are now in a situation which may be uncomfortable for some. It may be uncomfortable and it may be difficult to play the role of teacher. Perhaps parents may not remember or be super good at particular skills. Maybe your dad is really good at math and your mom is really good at science and nobody is all that great in English. I just use that as an example, of course, because that happens to be my area. Whatever the case may be, or they're simply uncomfortable being your teacher. Whatever the case may be, I'm here for you as well. I'm here for the students, I'm here for the parents, and I'm here for the teachers. We all need each other. So on that note, let's look at segments 3 and 4 of diagramming sentences. We're looking at pattern number 4 for those of you who have been in tune with the sentence patterns. If you're not, that's okay. If you are, it's a frame of reference. Okay, we're looking at the sentence pattern: noun, linking verb, noun. Remember I said that we would start using the little n, okay, and sometimes that noun is going to be an adjective or a pronoun because of the linking verb, okay? So don't be scared of it. Let's start off with simple. The children were happy. Were is a linking verb. Children is your noun. We've got a horizontal line. We've got the perpendicular line intersecting the horizontal line, separating the subject and the predicate. Okay, because we have a linking verb, we cannot have an object. Not a direct object, not an indirect object. We do not have an object. But we do have another word in the sentence, and you caught me. You caught me. Didn't I tell you that slanted line would slant back toward the noun? Okay? Because what we have here is a word that refers back to the noun. It describes the noun. Happy is an adjective. Remember I told you. So we use the little n because that covers a lot of territory. Children were slanted line toward the noun. happy. Noun, linking verb, noun. Okay? Now, that's basically segment 3. Segment 4 becomes a little bit more complex. Not complicated. Complicated says difficult, too hard, never mind. Complex says having many parts. Okay? So here we go. Many more parts to this one. We're going to add prepositional phrases. Now at this point, I'm thinking that you know what a prepositional phrase is. If you don't or you forgot, that's okay. You can always go to my segment on prepositions and prepositional phrases. So for now, I will tell you what you need to know. I'm not going to have you guess or frustrate you, okay? Well, we're going to take a basic sentence again. We're going to diagram it the way we've learned to do, and we're going to add prepositional phrases, or at least one prepositional phrase for now, okay? The basic sentence we're starting with is, the children flew their kites on a windy day. I like to start with the verb. Some people like to start with the noun. I'm going to take the verb, flew. Flew is the verb. It happens to be an action verb. I've already drawn my horizontal line across. I've already intersected with a perpendicular line because I know I'm separating my noun and my verb. So here's my verb, flew. Who flew? Children flew. There's my noun. Okay? I'm ignoring the for now. Flew what? I'm going to have a direct object. Remember in segment 2 we talked about noun, action, verb, noun? Here we go. Noun, action, verb, noun, direct object. Flew what? Flew kite. I do not intersect the line. I do not slant the line. I am using a straight perpendicular line, which indicates that the next word is the object of the verb, object of the action verb. Flew, flew what? Flew kites. Kites is a noun. Okay? Now, let's take care of our adjectives, which are a little bit obvious. What children? The children. If it is related to the noun, it goes on the subject side of the line, the left. If it's related to the verb, it goes on the right side. Flew when? When did they fly their kites? When? On a windy day. Let's talk about this. On a windy day is a prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or a pronoun, day. What about those two words in the middle? We'll get to it, okay? On a windy day is a prepositional phrase. The entire phrase tells when something happened. Even if you saw that by itself, on a windy day, it tells when something happened, okay? So when did they fly the kite? They flew it on a windy day. If it answers the question when about the verb, it's an adverb. So the entire prepositional phrase is an adverb phrase modifying the verb. So where are we going to put it? We're going to put it under the verb, not under kites, under the verb. It tells when. We make a little line on for a little word. Then we make a straight horizontal line for the noun, day. And then we have adjectives, just like we did here. What day? A day. What kind of day? Windy day. And that is segment 4 of diagramming sentences. We're keeping it simple. We're doing little by little, and you know we will be building on this. In segment 5, we will talk about diagramming an indirect object. Okay, I leave you with that. I leave you with life. Life is for everyone. Literacy is for everyone. We got this. You got this. You can do it. See you next time. Oh, by the way, if you have any particular needs for a specific lesson or a specific skill, please let me know. Please email me at cdesouza8@gmail.com or go on my website, which I will tell you later because I want you to come back. Okay? Thank you. Take care and be safe.